Lesson 4-4, Example 3. Our objective is learning to convert between decimals and fractions, and then also, in this case, we want to look at how we would order fractions from, let's say, from least to greatest. And we can use a number line to help us with that, but we can also convert things into one, either a decimal or a fraction. So let's say we want to put 3/4, 8/10, and 7/10 on this number line. Well, here I've set up my number line with decimals across the bottom and fractions along the top, which would help with either one of these, but I have both decimals and fractions. So I could think of them as two ways. For example, I could think of this 8/10 as 8/10 as a fraction. I could also think of this 7/10 as a decimal, 7/10. That way I have two options of how to find it on my number line. This 3/4, I can also think of that as a decimal as well. And for this one though, I might need to do a little converting. I might need to think of it as 3 divided by 4 and go in and figure out that there is, bring this down, 75 hundredths. So if I know how to convert between fractions and decimals, that can help me when I want to compare units of different, some are fractions and some are decimals. So I can look at them all the same way. So let's see if I can place some of these now. So let's start over here with actually our 7/10. Well, if I look at it as a decimal, here's 5/10, here's 1, it's going to be somewhere between there. Well, here's 6/10, 7/10, 8/10, 9/10. So this would be 0 and 7/10. And since it's the same, 7/10 would be above as a fraction, I could also write it up there as 7/10. Let's look at 8/10 now. Well, if this is 7/10, this would be 8/10 right here, or 8/10 as a fraction. Those are equivalent. Our 3/4 would then be 75 hundredths, and that's going to be right halfway between 7/10 and 8/10. It's going to be right here. So 3/4, I'm just going to draw a little arrow down to it right there, between 7/10 and 8/10, and 75 hundredths, which is its decimal equivalent, is going to go halfway between 7/10 and 8/10, or halfway between 70 hundredths and 80 hundredths. I can use that, think of those as that way too. So 8/10 could be thought of as 80 hundredths, and 7/10 could be thought of as 70 hundredths, and that can help me determine for 75 hundredths it's halfway between.